Professor McCall from Johns Hopkins University. He shows that transgenderism, and he's a psychiatrist, he shows that it is a mental disorder.
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm a transgender woman.
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm a transgender woman. I'm a transgender woman.
In light of the news that Peru has just passed a bill that classifies trans as a mental illness, there was a really entertaining panel discussion involving a trans woman, a based guy, mental health professional. I found very entertaining, and the trans woman tends to get a little mentally unstable, saying that trans people are not mentally unstable. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. So you heard it just a second ago. Peru has passed a bill. You can see a headline here. Peru calls transgender people mentally ill in new classification. And if you read into it, it's not like, hey, they're screwed up, we're just trying to like be hateful. No, it's like they passed this bill so that mentally ill people can get health care that they need. And of course, you know, gender dysphoria used to be a mental illness before we started celebrating and affirming the condition. Could you imagine if we did that to anorexia? People who, okay, your body weighs 78 pounds, you've starved yourself. Instead of treating you and your condition, we're going to affirm it. In fact, like I will tell you, you're definitely fat and need to lose more weight. Starve yourself for another few months. We'll check in. I'm just affirming you here, people, because I don't want to at all see the reality of the situation. So, and the whole Peru thing is all over the internet, all over Twitter. You can see libs of TikTok. It's fun. Well, irony before we get to this panel discussion. Dylan Mulvaney, I don't know, a few months ago went to Peru because he didn't feel safe in America. And he's like, yeah, I feel safe in Peru. This is a video from it. I have the sound off because I care about you. And now Peru would classify him as mentally ill. Right or wrong? That's what they're doing. Another post from libs of TikTok seemingly celebrating this new Peru bill. This person is now officially classified as mentally ill in Peru. Should we pass such a bill in the U.S.? I think mental illnesses should be treated, not affirmed. By the way, libs of TikTok keeps the receipts. This person, we've done a reaction video to him before. He was just acting like a total a-hole at a restaurant to victimize himself. Libs of TikTok, they keep the receipts. Now, let's take a look at this panel discussion that gets a little bit heated and perhaps basically just affirms this Peru bill is valid the more the trans woman tries to discount it. This is taken from a news show somewhere. I don't know where, and I don't really care, but it was really cool, so I thought I'd walk through it with you. Let's take a look.
Joining us to talk about it, therapist Dr. Bernadette Smith, Ryle Williams from the Urban Conservatives of America, and Barbie Braxton, a model and local member of the Houston LGBTQ community, transgender community. So, yes. Barbie, first of all, your thoughts on this when you hear Peru saying individuals who may be transgender and other categories may have mental illness.
They can't speak for people. You can't say who's mentally ill. It's not just
like doctors and medical professionals. They can diagnose people as mentally ill, so therefore they can say that. So just clarify.
Everybody from being straight to First off, let me slow down.
So that's actually an excellent way to start when you're trying to prove that you are not part of the mentally ill community. You're taking speech classes from Biden.
Heterosexual people, LGBTQ plus IA community, everybody has a mental illness within those groups of people. So you can't just automatically say because someone's trans or intersex or anything is automatically mentally ill.
Now, in a sense, I agree with his point and disagree with his point. The point that any group, all the groups of people, trans, straight, gay, Muslims, Christians, all those groups of people will have mentally ill people within them. Just guaranteed fact. I agree with that. But then the part of like, well, just because they're in a group, you can't automatically assume they all have a mental illness. I disagree with that because like if you're looking at the example I used earlier, anorexic people, someone who's starving themselves to death, yeah, that's a physical manifestation of a mental illness. You can definitely say all anorexic people have a mental illness. We're not trying to be hateful. We're trying to actually be loving and helpful. We want to see it so we can help it. So that's like, this person, his point, he could say like, oh, schizophrenic people, it's wrong to say they all have mental illness. Well, no, that's a group that is mentally ill people. So,
all right, Ron, let's hear from you. Your thoughts on this from
he's got a different perspective.
Government.
I think that it was a great decision. I think that, it kind of speaks for itself. Studies show that people who are transgender, I mean, for instance, in Sweden, they did a study, they're 6 times more likely to have to take, anxiety medication. 3 times more likely when they're transgender to have to take antidepressants. So that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, when you go against God's order and you begin to try to live a lifestyle that he didn't create you to live.
God didn't make that.
God didn't make what?
God, we've been here since forever. So you can't go and bring God into this and say what God made when God didn't make that.
Do you believe?
The Bible was a book that was written.
Hold on.
The more the guy on the far left talks, the more he's making a case supporting the dude in the middle, saying like, yeah, it's a mental illness. The idea like, well, you can't say God invented people. People's been around forever. First off, they haven't been around forever. Somewhere between a couple 100,000 and up to 1 million plus years ago. That's not forever. And second, the basis, if that guy on the far left is acknowledging the existence of God, he could come out and say like, hey, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Cool. That's a different point. But the point of like, well, you can't say God invented people. First off, you're implying that you believe in the existence of God, and people's been around forever. No, they haven't. But no matter how long ago they have been around for, people tend to think of God as the creator of people. So just this, the more you talk, the more mentally unstable you seem. First off, you're interrupting. You're obviously insecure enough that you can't tolerate someone else talking. Far left, sit him on the far left. It's going to be very symbolic. Second off, the points you're bringing up to try to discount this guy's perspective just make his perspective look more valid because he's making himself look less valid. Let's go on. We'll get back to the discussion in just a second, but first, I want to let you know, you don't have to be a victim when it comes to your health, where you just sit around hoping to have good health so you can feel good and live a long, happy life with your family. But if you don't want to be a victim, you do have to do something about it. You have to take control. And one of the most potent things I found that I do for my health to help me take control is using infrared saunas. And the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket is my go-to. Because saunas can be super expensive and take up a ton of space in your home, but the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket is the best in the market, most cost-effective, and it's super potent. We're talking detoxing, de-stressing, relaxing, helping you sleep better, more energy, heat shock protein so you can get ripped, lose weight, all so you can feel and function your best. I do 30-minute sessions 3 times a week in my infrared sauna blanket. I'm usually listening to podcasts and audiobooks while I do it. Yeah, killing a couple birds with one sauna blanket. I always feel fantastic after my sessions, and Bond Charge ships worldwide in rapid time, has easy returns and exchanges, and comes with a 12-month warranty. And all Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax savings. Quit being a victim and take control of your health by going to bondcharge.com/JPReacts to get your infrared sauna blanket. And while you're there, be sure to use the discount code JPReacts to get 15% off all Bond Charge products. Back to the video.
If you want to go there.
Let's not even get into that.
You took it there when you said about when you brought up God.
We're talking about whether or not transgenderism is a mental disorder.
Like I stated, everybody from every community has mental illness. It's a lot of transgender people, intersex people. I'm a transgender woman. I'm a transgender woman. I'm a transgender woman. I'm a transgender woman. Disrespect me and be real to me, because we can really take it there.
And let's bring in Dr. I'm feeling many vibes right now.
I don't care, and I'm feeling feminine vibes and tacky vibes. Look at you. So you sit here talking this all greasy and stuff.
I love it. Just attack his character. I'm feeling feminine and tacky vibes from you. I love it. It's a great way to debate. It's definitely entertaining, though.
So guys, hey, look, we're going to do one at a time, or we're going to move on. Dr. Smith, let's bring you on.
The doctor's going to talk.
What becomes important is, one, we have to be able to respect people where they are. And the other thing, we talked about this before.
Which, by the way, playing both sides of that, I definitely agree. Respect people where they are. And if someone is just like, dude, I'm a guy, I wear dresses, this is what I want to do. Cool, I love freedom. I can respect that in the sense of I accept it. I don't respect it as in I admire it, but I respect it in the sense of, dude, I accept it. That's your right. You do you. I don't want to control you. But also respecting people where they're at. If they're mentally ill, or if they're mentally ill and in denial of it, or they're mentally ill and ragefully in denial of it and become combative with it, still respecting where they're at means you see they're at a place of mental illness. So expecting mentally ill people, all of them to say, yeah, dude, I'm mentally ill. Like mental illness is kind of like in a way defined as you're out of touch with reality. So with that said, I agree. Respect people where they're at.
People will take a statistic, and because they don't understand how to properly read the statistics, that's how then you infer improper information. So when
I want Dr. Fauci to read me my statistics so I can properly disseminate the information.
Looking at statistics and where people in the LGBTQI community are more susceptible to things such as anxiety and depression and suicide is because they're living in a society that does not allow them to be their full versions of themselves.
That's not true.
I agree with the guy that just said that's not true. Like, the society has overly catered to because, like, dude, if you're not trans, we hate you. So society's kind of catered to them at this point.
Can you imagine
that's
how
not true.
challenging it would be if somebody said, you can no longer wear your glasses and now you have to function in society without it? That's going to create a level of anxiety
Studies
because
show
then,
that transgender people,
yes,
from the time
you're right.
that they
Studies
become
do
One second, we'll let you
You're
ride.
right.
1 second.
Studies do show that people who are in the LGBTQI community are more at risk for anxiety and depression because of the community and society at large. However, those who...
Not because of themselves. No. Part of playing the role of a victim, whatever's challenging you, it's never because of yourself. It's because of society. Her position, like, even if I fundamentally agreed with her, which I don't, I wholeheartedly disagree with her positioning of it. She has just positioned the victim archetype because of society. Guess what? If you make your health and happiness dependent on society, because of society, you will always be a victim because you will never be powerful enough. No matter how narcissistic you get, you'll never be powerful enough to control society the way you want it to be. You can't be a victim and a master at the same time.
who do have the opportunity to be in their full version of themselves and have the support and love do not experience those things to that degree. And so being able to say, what does it matter at the end of the day? What does it matter how somebody decides to live their life? Because it's not...
If you're reading books with your junk hanging out to my children, it matters a lot. I know not all LGBTQ people do that, but some are trying to get away with it under the rainbow-colored flag.
It should not impact you.
All right. And Raul, that question to you. Why should it matter to you how
I can't wait for the far left guy to interrupt the based guy in the middle. I can't wait.
somebody lives their life?
Why would it?
If it doesn't impact you?
Well, it's a number of reasons. You can go and look at studies from Professor McCall from Johns Hopkins University. He shows that transgenderism, he's a psychiatrist, he shows that it is a mental disorder. It's not something to where it's just something that they you can do and it's okay, and you can try to convince yourself that you're something that you're not. You are a man. If you're born with a penis, you're a man.
There's
It's
a
that
lot.
simple.
First off,
There's a
hold
lot
on.
of misinformation in regards to...
I'm not done. I'm not done.
He pointed at me. I never said that I was a woman. But
Wrap it up, Raul, and then we'll go to Barbie for the closing response.
Studies show that people who are transgender from Johns Hopkins University, this in HCC,
And studies
it
also
shows
show
that they
that
are
black
20
Man, the interrupting is challenging.
people were
times
less
more
than.
likely to commit suicide.
All right. Go ahead, Barbie.
You gotta
Let's
say that.
Barbie.
But you,
20 times.
you could, hold on, because you spit a
20
little
times.
bit, so just chill out.
20 times.
Okay, hold
right,
on. You're going
Ron,
off.
hold on one
You're
second.
going off a study, but you don't know. You can't speak for people.
You're going off a study, but you can't speak for people. Like, those didn't go together to form a point.
You cannot speak for people just because you're intimidated and everything, and you're trying to down talk.
By the way, that whole like you're intimidated, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're intimidated. That's why. No, like I heard Michael Knowles say before, like his goal is the truth. So if you're just trying to represent truth, then people try to discount you, say, no, you're just intimidated by this reality. You're scared of it. You're phobic. It's like, no, maybe I'm just standing for truth.
You totally wrong.
I'm giving you the facts.
You're not giving facts. You're giving a study. You're giving a study. You're not giving facts.
I'm giving
But
you
if you're
facts.
providing, you're providing.
You try to though.
By the way, what's this guy on the right thinking right now? He's just like, dude, I cannot wait for this segment to be over. And also, he's like, I'm not going to say what I really think.
No.
You tried to.
That's the basis on which I believe.
You tried to.
I ain't bring it there
You
yet.
tried to. You tried to bring on.
We want to thank you guys. Obviously, this will go on and on and on.
It will.
Still.
Now, the last thing before we close out this video, I want to show you this little censorship thought police note at the bottom of this YouTube video. First off, if you want to reference the video for yourself, it's Fox 26 Houston, their YouTube channel. Here's, these context notes. It's just thought police. It's mind censorship. And this talks about conversion therapy in the sense of, pray the gay way kind of thing. Here's the warning. Conversion therapy refers to a range of dangerous and discredited practices aimed at changing one's sexual orientation or gender identity or expression. Now that's in the pray the gay way sense, which by the way, I think like trying to pray the gay away, like, yeah, I don't agree with that. But that same note could more accurately be applied in the sense of physically trying to change your gender identity or expression is dangerous. Some would say more dangerous, don't you think? Oh, don't pray for the gender to change. That is dangerous. But, surgically change it. That is, dude, it'd be ridiculous not to. Really? What are the medical side effects of inaccurate prayer or accurate prayer? Oh, I don't know, but bring out the knives because this is the safe one. This is the safe way to do gender conversion therapy. Anyway, that note just caught my attention. I had to say a little something about it. Let me know what you think about Peru's new bill that just passed, classifying trans, non-binary people, agender people as mentally ill. Let me know what you thought about this panel discussion as well. Look forward to seeing your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you on our next video.